Today we're going to be asking the age-old question, do PCs go obsolete? Well, in the case of this PC, it never goes obsolete. It's coming up right now on the Retro Hack Shack. Well, hello everybody and welcome back to my second channel. This is Aaron. Thanks for joining me again today for a fun e-waste Wednesday. Even though it's probably not Wednesday when you're watching this, it is the day that I go to e-waste and try to find some treasures. Today wasn't one of those days where I could do a whole let's walk through e-waste and see all the goodies that I find there. In fact, these were the only two things that I found that I brought back with me. This never obsolete eMachine designed for Windows 98. So this ought to be really interesting. And then also this 17-inch ViewSonic monitors. The logo here, I always will remember the logo with the, what are they, parakeets up here, the three of them. That was a really good branding on their part because these ViewSonic monitors actually became pretty prolific, I think, for a bit in the 90s and early 2000s. But yeah, so we've got this pair here. I don't know if they came in together, but this should be really interesting. I do want to say thank you, by the way, to all of my patrons and YouTube members. You can join my YouTube member list or membership, whatever, or you can always join Patreon. And I thank all of those folks who support the channel for their support. Couldn't do it without you. But when I found this particular PC, it wasn't in the normal spot. And I did grab a little bit of video of when I found it because I didn't know what I was going to find that day. So I was recording and it had rained for the previous few days, and this was not in the normal place. It was kind of tucked back in a corner, but it still looked like it was in really good condition, although it was all wet. I could see the raindrops up here on top, kind of little pools of water. So I went ahead and grabbed it and brought it back and let it dry. It's been sitting drying for the past week or so. And so hopefully we'll see what the damage is when we get inside here. Let's just take a closer look at some of the branding because that's what makes this so interesting. The branding is mostly intact except for this little piece right here that got scuffed. But right up here at the top, it makes this bold claim. It says this computer is never obsolete. And then a little bit of a disclaimer here, just below it in green here. When you join eMachine's network. So I guess we're out of luck. We can't make a claim that this, that they didn't fulfill their promise of being never obsolete because we can't even join the eMachine network today. But this is an eMachine thing. It's got a little claim down here on the bottom or a little offer, unlimited internet access for $20 a month. And then over here, all these little bullet points here, you know, fast, reliable internet access, the world's richest internet content. They're not saying much about the machine itself up here, which kind of gives away that this is probably a lower end machine. But you get email, you get shopping, you can upgrade your PC to the fastest model on the market every 2 years for only $100. That's the bold claim right there. Spend $100 every year and you can keep upgrading this. Because at the time, actually in the market, you know, every Sunday or whatever, when you got your circular and you looked for the Best Buy or the Circuit City ad or whatever, you would see that from last week to this week, there's a newer machine out and it's slightly faster or it has slightly more memory or it has a bigger monitor for the same price as the one last week that you wanted to buy.
Right now at Circuit City, get a free computer when you sign up for CompuServe Internet Service. This eMachine's PC is free after mail-in rebates when you sign up for 3 years of CompuServe 2000 Premier Internet Service. Plus, add this 15-inch monitor and Canon printer for just $169.99 after mail-in rebates. Or save $400 on any computer at Circuit City after mail-in rebates when you sign up for 3 years of CompuServe 2000 Premier Internet Service. Right now at Circuit City.
And so eMachines, I'm sure, recognized this and said, hey, we'll just make you this promise, so go ahead and buy the crap now. You can always upgrade your crap later to better crap. So that was their promise to you, and hopefully, you know, maybe that made them some sales. I don't know. The particular brand down here, we can see at the bottom, or the model number is the eTower 433, and again over here it says 433 megahertz. That's where the 433 comes in. And in terms of spec, we get 32 megabytes of sync DRAM. I don't know, SDRAM. I don't spend a long time since I've seen sync DRAM or synchronous DRAM, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, 32 megabytes of RAM, 128K L2 cache. Remember back at this time, L2 cache wasn't always implemented. There was a time when it wasn't implemented or you had to add it separately, but this is baked in, just letting people know that. 4.3 gig hard drive, 40x CD-ROM, whoa, we're getting up there now, and a 3D AGP 4 megabyte video card. That's not too bad. And of course a 56K modem, because how else are you going to get on the internet? It also lists the services that you could, that came with this, not only the operating system, Windows 95, but AOL, CompuServe, Netscape Communications, eWare, and Sunstar Office. So again, bargain brand. Sunstar Office was Open Office, I believe, or maybe this was before they combined into Open Office or whatever. But LibreOffice, Open Office, there was all these various versions back then, and this came with Sunstar Office because it was free, I'm sure. And that's it. And then we've got this little arrow down here, and it points to this thing. I don't know. I guess this is supposed to open up down here, maybe. Is that supposed to, oh, did I break it? There we go. Yep, I got it. So there's a joystick port and a USB port. Wow, fancy for Windows 98. And then just taking a quick look at this ViewSonic monitor. This is an A70, I believe that's the model there, an A70, 17-inch monitor, but this will support resolutions up to 1280 by 1024, so that's not bad. Again, this comes with a 3-year warranty and internet color management profile included. Super clear technology creates superior brightness, contrast, and color fidelity. So again, with the labels, right? All the computers of this time frame, were slapping labels with stuff on it. And if it didn't have a label, maybe that, people doubted whether that was a good monitor or not. So they slapped the label on there with all kinds of marketing jargon just to get people to buy it. And yeah, I'm sure it worked. I'm sure I looked at those labels when I was perusing the computer stores of the day. Taking a look at the back of the computer, of course, we get a power supply up top, and then down below we have PS2 ports for mouse and keyboard. I think this is another USB port right there. And then we've got serial, we've got parallel, we've got VGA out, built-in VGA. That's really nice. So this must have been early on in that process, or this computer is a little bit later than I'm imagining it was. But yeah, and then we have some ports for speaker, microphone, line in, etc. We've got your modem down here in the card slot area, and then we've got an Ethernet port. So we could actually get this thing online, on a LAN. Wow, on a LAN. The other thing I'm noticing back here, there's a serial number, of course. So somebody stuck that. Maybe this was part of a, I don't know, workplace thing. That's their serial number. And then down here, we have the little warranty void thing, and it is unbroken. So this thing has never been opened, but we will be opening it right now. Hey everybody, just a quick note to let you know as we're approaching the holiday season that a generous donor has made it possible for you to get a discount on an audio board for the RBGtoHDMI. So if you've got an RGB to HDMI device from my shop, or if you want to get one, now's your chance by using the code COCO, that's C-O-C-O, when you check out. Use the coupon code COCO and you will get $10 off your audio board for the RGB to HDMI. There's a limit of 25 of these, so don't wait. Go to the site, order your audio board, and use the coupon code COCO to get your $10 off. So thank you, anonymous donor, and now back to the video. So I do want to get in here and open this up and see if any of that rain made its way inside. I don't think so. This is wrapped up pretty tight. It doesn't have seams, just wraps all the way around. And like I said, it's never even been opened. So I doubt, unless the water got in the bottom here, I doubt that any water got inside. But let's just go ahead and break the warranty sticker. Ooh, I might get some haters for that one. But gotta do what you gotta do. And then it looks like there's just a few screws. I gotta remember to plug in my screwdriver. One up top here, and it looks like a couple on the sides. And I thought I broke that seal, but it stayed intact. Oh well, doesn't matter. That seal is stronger than I thought. There's also a little tab up here for, you could put a lock on there so that people wouldn't be able to get the cover off, but let's just see if this comes off. It comes off very easily. No problem. Oh, no muss, no fuss on the inside. I can already tell you there's not a whole lot to write home about. In fact, it looks like they've yanked the hard drive as part of the, whoever had this as part of their process to bring it to e-waste. They yanked the hard drive out and, that's fine. totally fine. I don't think we're going to find any rare drivers or anything necessarily on this particular hard drive if it was still in here, but that's why I like to collect those old hard drives. Not for mining personal data, that's kind of ridiculous, but just for the fact of getting programs, hard drivers, things like that off of the hard drive and archiving them for other people to use. It would be great to have a base image archive somewhere. We'll have to see if we can find one online and install that and get this thing working. But yeah, although it doesn't have a hard drive, it looks to be in pretty good shape. We already kind of know there's a 433 megahertz Celeron in here. No dust, no wetness that I can see, no corrosion that I can see. There is a battery right down in there, so we can replace that. And then I think we can go ahead, as long as there's no shorts, which I will test with this connector here, we can go ahead and power this thing up and just see if it powers up at least to the BIOS. So I've got everything hooked up here. I did test the power supply for shorts on the 5 volt and 12 volt rails. No shorts found there. And I've got the monitor, which we can test at the same time to see if it's working. And I've also hooked up my Neo Retro keyboard that I love so much, as you know, on this channel through the HIDman, which I sell in the shop. You can go pick one of these things up. They've been selling very well, and I should have more of these in stock within a week or so. So probably by the time you're watching this video, those either are back in stock or almost about to be back in stock, by the way, because I know more people want those. Anyway, we're all hooked up. Let's start with the monitor and see if this does anything. Oh, okay. It did come on and the light's on, and I heard the little relay click. Oh, and we've got a OSD on-screen display. Please check signal. Nice. Okay, that's a really good sign, and it looks good. That doesn't necessarily mean that the picture is going to be good, but at least the on-screen display part looks good, and it's gone into standby mode. So let's go for broke and hit the power button and see what we get. Here we go. Okay, I can hear the fan starting up. Got a signal. Just came out of standby. eMachines! There we go. Ooh, this looks nice. That monitor looks nice. This is looking great so far. Just got to see if we get anywhere. It's right now it's just stuck on the eMachines logo. Oh, there it goes. I was just about to reboot it. Here we go. Nice. Celeron 433, which we know. NVRAM is okay. We've got 400 megs of RAM in here, it looks like. That's more than what it said. I think this is 128, so somebody must have done an upgrade. So it looks like here we have 393 megs of RAM. CMOS settings wrong. Display type wrong. So yeah, we got to go into setup, but we just had to wait. If you ever have one of these and you get stuck on that eMachines logo, let it go for a good 60 seconds, because I had to wait at least 60 seconds before it actually got to the BIOS screen. So let's just go ahead and hit F1. I'm in the wrong mode for the keyboard. Got to be in AT mode, F1, and might have to reboot because it's not recognizing the keyboard, probably because it was in XT mode when I started this up. Hopefully that's why. So let's go ahead and let's do a reboot real quick. Oh, I can't do that for a reboot. While we're waiting for this to boot up again, I'm kind of curious if there's any... Oh, the CD tray works, but no CD-ROM. A lot of times you find games and stuff that people forgot to take out of these CD-ROMs. That sounds pretty good, actually. The belts or whatever, the motor that's driving that is actually still working pretty well. Okay, now let's see if the keyboard's working. No. What's going on here? What's going on? Am I in the wrong port? Am I not plugged in all the way? Ah. Okay, I was still in the wrong mode. Okay, now I should be in the right mode. That would have worked the first time if I had the AT mode set. Okay, so here we are in the BIOS, and let's see. First thing I think I want to do is load defaults. Let's load the original defaults. Restore old defaults, yes. And let's go ahead and reboot. So I'll tell you right now, I don't know if this is supposed to be an ad or something, but it's making me angry at eMachines that they left this graphic on for so long. There's no reason for it, as far as I can tell. It should just go straight into the post screen. So hopefully there's a way to disable this 60-second splash screen advertisement for eMachines. Okay, this is annoying. Every time you got to go through this process. I got to figure out a way to disable this. Okay, got into BIOS at least. I had to spam F1 and delete key to get in here. Let's see if there's any way in the BIOS to get rid of that splash screen. I don't think so. There's our drive setups. Make sure drive A is set up. It is. Quick boot is disabled. I wonder if that's what it is. Let's do enabled. Maybe that changes it. Okay, let's see if quick boot helps us here. Is that quick boot setting going to get us past the eMachine logo? No, it is not. There has to be a way to disable that. All right, well, it only took about 30 seconds this time, or 20 seconds instead of the full minute, but that's still really annoying. All right, well, I think it's time to see if we can get this thing working. I did find the restore CD on archive.org, so we should be able to get this thing restored if the CD-ROM is working, but I'll need a hard drive for that first. I couldn't find a 4.3 gig hard drive as was advertised on the front of the eMachine here, but I did find an 8 gig drive. This is 8.4 gig hard drive. So yeah, let's get this installed and get that CD burned and we'll see how it goes. All right, well, hard drive is installed. It did not have a check mark like most of mine do. See if the BIOS recognizes it. That'll be a good first start here. After we get past the logo, which I still don't know how to skip. All right, here we go. Detect IDE. Come on, baby. Okay, it did detect it. So we'll go with that. Okay, restore Windows 98. Format hard drive. Seems to me this must have been fairly early for backup or restore CDs to be out, right? I mean, I remember those being out in the 2000s for sure. I'm assuming that this is a turn of the millennium machine here, but anyway, let's go ahead, proceed with format. Yes, please. This is interesting. It says formatting 256 meg, not 8 gig. So what the heck's going on with that? I wonder if it was setting up a partition in memory maybe to hold all the installation files. That could be, because it came up with R. So maybe it was setting up a temporary memory drive for that. All right, well, this is obviously going to take a while, so I'm going to leave this running and I'll come back when it's finished so we can see what this thing hopefully looks like on the actual media that would have been installed when you bought this at the store. Okay, well, remember when there was that 256 meg partition? I guess that was already on this drive. I thought this drive was blank and I had taken off all the partitions, but there was a 240 meg partition and then there was a 2 gig partition. And so this tried to install automatically on the 256 meg partition, which of course didn't work and ended up crapping out. So I went into FDisk, blew away all the partitions, and created a new partition, which had automatically created as an 8 gig partition. I don't know if that's going to work for Windows 98, but maybe it will. I guess it wouldn't work for DOS necessarily, because I think DOS has that 2 gig limit, right? So yeah, it's got an 8 gig hard drive and it's got a whole 8 gig partition. It's formatting it 8%. And then I'll restart the installation. We'll see how far we get. All right, well, this is the first boot after the install process got done. So hey, here we go. And I don't have the speakers plugged in. I'm not going to make it in time to get the startup sound probably, but I'll try. Well, I might have been saved by the no mouse error message here, so maybe we will get the startup sound if I got everything turned on, right? Oh, welcome introduction to the mouse. If you want to learn how to use a mouse, you need to brush up on your mouse skills. Type M to begin the mouse lesson. Otherwise, hit escape to exit the tutorial. Escape. Are you sure you want to exit the tutorial? You might need to learn how to use a mouse. I think I'm good. Put in your user information. Let's put in user, accept the agreements. Oh! All right, well, this was before they started putting product keys on, stickers on the cases. So I've got to go find a Windows 98 product key that will work for this. All right, product key has been entered. And hopefully all the drivers are on that restore CD, so this will all go smoothly. Oh, I heard a sound. That's good. Come on, Windows. Oh, it's got to reboot again, I guess. Getting ready to run Windows for the first time. No mouse, yep. Ooh, is that the startup sound? That's weird. I didn't know eMachines had their own startup sound. Look at all this crap. Holy moly. They didn't lie. CompuServe, eMachines Network. Where's AOL? AOL's got to be on here somewhere. Oh yeah, America Online. Register your eMachine. Introduction to Microsoft Windows. That might be fun to check out, but there it is. There it is. Just the way it would have been if you would have bought this computer back in whatever, 1999 or 2000 or 2001, whenever it came out. So this is pretty cool. We'll have to explore a little bit here and see what's going on. But first, I do need to get a mouse. Okay, well when I installed the monitor, it must have bumped up the resolution because this definitely is not a 600 by 480. And you can hear some of the annoying sounds that come up anytime you do anything. I would probably have to turn those off pretty quickly. But yeah, it's 16-bit color, 800 by 600. That's pretty good for this monitor. Let's just see if it does automatically go up to, yeah, it'll go all the way up to 1080 by 1024. Let's just, yeah, there it goes. Now, I'm not going to be able to see that. Do you want to keep this setting? I can see that button. No. But maybe back in the day when my eyes were working, that would have been okay. Maybe on a 19-inch monitor. But that's pretty good. 800 by 600, you know, probably pretty good for games and stuff. I do want to check out this Introduction to Microsoft Windows. Oh, it's Microsoft Works. Introduction to Works for Windows 95. Well, okay. I mean, it's cool, you know, if you've never used it before. Of course, Microsoft Word, I think even Office was probably either out or coming out about this time for Windows 98. So, yeah. But yeah, if you're a new user, which I think most people, this is maybe their first computer or at least their first PC. So you need to learn this kind of stuff. Look at all this clip art. Works at school. Works is at home at school too. Students can create stories, school reports, and bibliographies. What? Bibliographies? This thing just goes on and on and on. Oh my word. Wow. That was a long slideshow. Okay, was there any games on this that came... No, just the standard Windows games, Free Cell, Hearts, Minesweeper, and Solitaire. So it looks like I'm going to have to load some stuff on here to actually check out the performance. I'm not going to do any benchmarks or anything, but it would be good to actually load some games or something so that we can see how this works. Let me see if I can find a period game and we'll get it fired up. All right, I know it's not an action game, so to speak, but strategy games were what I was interested in around this time. And I happened to dig out this copy of Civilization II Gold Edition, which came out in 1999, requires Windows 95, but I'm assuming it'll run perfectly fine on Windows 98 as well. So let me get this installed. Hopefully I've got all the CDs in here, and we'll fire this up. Oh, if you need 3D heralds, you need to have more than 16 megs of RAM. I guess we're good for that. I hear sound. Maybe we can turn this up a bit. Oh, no. Oh, no. I wanted to see that. There we go. This was so cool, this animation, because, I mean, I was impressed with the animation of the DOS version back in 1993 when I started playing Civilization 1. It was the only Civilization out at the time, of course. And when Civilization 2 came out, I jumped right on it and bought it and played the heck out of it. And I remember this whole, you know, video sequence here compared to the original DOS game was like, whoa, I can't believe it. It's so cool. And of course, Civilization has come a long way in their intro since then with full orchestration and huge choirs and all kinds of things that they do. It looks like it's working though, so let's go ahead and start a new game. Just gonna accept all the defaults here. I've risen to become a leader of the Romans. May your reign be long and prosperous. Okay. Your first task is to find a suitable site. Oh, listen to the music. That's great. I don't know if you can hear it because it's all the way across the desk there, but it sounds wonderful. So we go to orders, build new city. We're going to build Rome. Here we go. Rome's founded 4000 BC. And there we go. So they didn't change too much, as I recall, in Civilization 2, except that it was Windows-based. And, you know, they added some diplomacy and things like that. So they did add some new things, but it was nice. If you were coming from Civ 1, it kind of made sense, sort of, that what you were doing, but you had to get used to all the windows and stuff because that was all new. Uh-oh, German civilization's already destroyed by the Zulus. It's like turn 6 or something. Oh look, there's a village. Hey, I've discovered a friendly tribe. And they gave me units? Oh yeah, they gave me archers. Cool. Now I can go explore some more. I'm gonna send this guy down this way. See if we can fight somebody. The people spontaneously decided to recognize my many years of enlightened leadership. They're going to build me a castle. What section shall we improve? Let's improve the throne. Yeah, it's no iron throne. It's just a wooden chair, but it'll do. I can't find anybody to attack. French civilization also destroyed by the Zulus. The Zulus are crushing it. Okay, let's see if I can attack this guy. Declare war. For valor in combat, our phalanx unit has been promoted to veteran status. Population exceeds 100,000 citizens. Whew. Okay, well, there we go. I mean, Civilization's working. It's still fun after all these years. And yeah, someone's going to be getting this eMachine that's never obsolete. Can you believe it? So yeah, I'll probably end up putting this up on Facebook Marketplace or something, and we'll sell it with this monitor, and I'll get this all cleaned up. You know I do. I'm not going to do it for this video, but get rid of all of these black marks and things like that. Don't worry, I'll get this cleaned up and it'll be nice and shiny for its new owner. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, check out some of these other videos that are going to appear right over here on this side of the screen. Thank you all for your support. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
End of line.